Hey guys, what's going on? Mouse here again for another Guild Boss video. So, fire meta. I know there has been a lot of conversations about this. I know there has been a lot of people who are frustrated, disappointed, and I know there are a lot of people too who are happy about what happened. I already said my piece in another video. So, let's all leave that. And now let's focus on what's in front of us. It's gonna be hard to adjust, really. Like, I myself had to top up for this just to show you guys the potential of this meta. It might take you a couple of weeks to be able to adjust, or it might not even be worth adjusting, but at least I'm gonna show you what happened here in the Guild Boss run that I have. So now we have 13 billion, and I think I can pretty much go to 13.5, 14 billion even, because this run is actually me just using test gears, test scores. So it's not yet the maximum potential that I'm gonna be able to get here, but anyway, I'm gonna share it with you guys, and just to give you some ideas and to show you the direction that I'm taking here in this new Guild Boss lineup, wherein we don't use Hansemi anymore. So now we have 5 billion on Suyun, could be more, and we have Thomas Andre 3.2 billion, Gogunhee almost 1 billion, and Gina 877 million. Could be more. I'm gonna improve this further. So yeah, I'm gonna share you everything that needs to be improved in this account, and the reason why I said it's gonna be possible to 13.5, even 14 billion with this kind of setup. So yeah, Esil 772, and so on and so forth. So just a few points before we begin. This is preliminary, I would say, although I'm confident that I'm gonna use this kind of setup. This is still preliminary. A lot of things could change. I have only played the Guild Boss today, so I've only focused it today because I had to finish POD, Simulation Gate, WOBL first, and give you some guides to clear those. So now I'm gonna focus on Guild Boss since we already got those things out of the way, and we can proceed with the optimization for Guild Boss performance. So before we begin, firstly, please do subscribe in my channel because I am gonna be uploading another video after this, my next video, which is gonna be the most important video content that I'm gonna upload for this patch to talk about the fire meta specific. So if you haven't subscribed here in my channel yet, please do, and also please do like this video as well, so that this video will be pushed by the algorithm so that more people will see it, and that will help me a lot as a content creator as well. And just in case your support is still free, please do support me in the SLA content creator program. It would help me a lot, especially when it comes to the resources we need to do all of this, because you guys have been helping me a lot in that regard. So really appreciate it. Thank you so much again to all our supporters. If you still need some codes, we got essence codes, gold, and there will be 2 more codes coming soon. So just in case you need them, feel free to support me in the SLA content creator program. I send them every day, every few hours. As soon as I wake up, I send them. And now let's check the overall setup. Alright, so here's the lineup that we are using. As you can see, we've got the full fire team, we got the full light team, and on Team C, we got all the debuffers that we need here to further improve the damage of Team A and Team B. So let's go ahead and start with Song Jinwoo first, because I did some adjustments here as well. As you can see, we got 23k attack only. We got 99 million damage in that run, but usually it's going to be 200M plus 150M, something around that if the build is correct. But since I'm still using my test gears, I guess that's fine. I'll just polish this later. So here's my stats. Everything is like crazy low, but yeah, I'm gonna fix that later on. So still doing the support builds, still using the same sets of skills, and I switched my sharp perception to Demon Slayer because we kind of needed the mana, but I might be able to remove this as well pretty soon with the final setup. So now let's go ahead to the artifacts. This is what I'm using now. I'm using the 4-piece Seal Blessings to stack that increased damage, elemental weakness damage, and buff the team quickly using the Shadow Step. And I'm now using the Holy Set here on Song Jinwoo to further buff my teammates. Now, usually I use the Guardian Set here, but since if I use the Holy Set on Gina, for example, it's gonna reduce the attack. And Gina is one of my main damage dealers right now, so I really can't do that. So for the cores, yeah, I still have to fix some things here. Just wait on my follow-up video on this, but still you're gonna be able to get the idea here right now. So now here's the stats of Gina: 34k attack And crit 9.2k, crit damage, defense penetration, damage increase. Looks perfect. Damage is like 870 million. And why? I use expert set on her. I didn't use the Sylph Blessing on Jaina because the activation is so slow and I need to push that damage early on. So I wanted to try Obsidian set here as well. Unfortunately, I don't have available Obsidian sets anymore for the attack type. But I think this is still fine because we can still stack up all those expert set before the break phase, wherein the boss will receive fire damage taken as well as a general damage taken, which is good for the latter parts of the boss fight. Alright, so Guardian set here, and for the cores, here's what I'm using. For attack, just borrow Deborah's core for the meantime for that critical hit damage to get the stats we need, as well as this one. MP consumption of basic skills by 12%. So in my experience, this is already enough to sustain her mana. So I'm using this because decreases MP recovery rate by 10%. Well, I don't have much MP recovery rate percent. I believe that's how it works. It's gonna reduce this, but I'm not sure. And also, she's not like a unit that's really good when it comes to restoring MP via core attack, via normal attack, because she's charging a lot of skills, things like those. And also, she doesn't need to do that because she has the mana circulation, which helps her regen that MP. So the idea here is to just reduce the mana cost of the basic skills and then just regen it with the weapon, 150 MP. Now let's go ahead to check Esil. Here, her stats: 3k attack, crit rate, crit damage, defense penetration, damage increase. So still not optimized yet. I think I can still improve her a lot because we don't actually need that much damage increase here. I think we need more attack and we need more defense penetration to further improve the damage. But anyway, that's okay. Crit rate 77, I would improve that once I get more resources, because honestly I don't have like everything's gone. I don't have any essence stones anymore. I do have diamonds still, but I'm saving them. This is the last gold that I have. I had to buy it using the essence stones to get that gold to switch up some gears. I just used Song Jinwoo's core on her, which is already level 15, because her stats is very low, because I don't have a good grid set yet. There's kind of a lot of wasted stats here in her artifacts, so I still have to improve that later on. But for now, like this one for example, but for now I think that's gonna work out fine. We're seeing her damage at 700 or almost 800 million. I think that's pretty decent here. So I will change this later on and get a fire core here for additional attack percent, which is gonna add a lot of damage on her. And as you can see, she's also A5, and since she's not using expert set, once we 8-10 the weapon, once we 8-10 the Esil, that's gonna add probably like ATM or something to her damage. I'm not sure how much, but probably somewhere around that once we fix everything, or probably 100M, between 100M to 150M. Once we fix her entire build, probably gonna be around 1 billion, maybe. That's just my estimate. So now the idea here with Esil is to stack that Prey on the Weak and be able to break that boss as earlier as we can, and be able to take advantage of that increased fire damage and damage taken increase. Alright, so usually I get around 65 stacks after the break phase, which is pretty decent already. So now let's go ahead and check Suyun. The star, the model, the former fan service unit is now the top damage dealer. But just a disclaimer though, this is like super almost maxed out already, okay? Although the skill levels are still not yet done, for the stats it's already very good. So almost 35k attack, and crit rate is 9.5k. Crit damage I need a bit less, around probably less 3k than this. Defense penetration, I'm not sure if this is already enough. Probably we need just a tiny bit more from this, which is we're gonna get once we change the boots to defense penetration. I'm just waiting on that, just hoping that I'm gonna be able to get that, or once we limit break some of her cores. But anyway, the stats, 35% defense penetration. I think this is a good spot for GB purposes. I already discussed this in my WOBL video, so just check on that. And damage increase is at 21.85%, and then fire damage is at 10.50%. Skill levels, I still need to improve her ult probably, as well as the core attack. Well, I need to improve everything if we're gonna use her as DPS, but I'm not sure how long we're gonna be able to use her. But I think she will still be usable even after Kanae is released in terms of guild boss. We're gonna wait on that, but yeah, lots of rooms for improvement here still. And then using Curse plus Obsidian set. Next for the core, another level 15 here for that defense penetration and additional attack. Defense penetration here and crit rate here. So I kind of pushed her defense penetration a bit more using the gems. I actually had to sacrifice a couple of gems here to put more defense penetration. Although I still wouldn't advise that you do this. I just optimized this for my guild boss. You would need a lot of precision still for the WOBL hard mode, I believe. So don't do this. I just did this because I'm optimizing for guild boss specifically, and I had to, because I'm missing a bit of defense penetration. So I'm not sure yet about the exact amount, but I think this is still not enough, because right now we have 12% from Esil, 8% from Gina, those passives, and then we have 48% on Suyon. So technically, if we're not gonna be reduced by the monster level, we only need 32%, but that is a level 70 monster. It's not level 80, it's shown as level 80 by the way again, but it's a level 70 monster, so I think we would need more. I just don't know how much exactly, but once we limit break our cores, we will know. Okay, we will know if we actually need more. I'm not sure. I'm gonna check the numbers later on. So that's gonna be it for Team A, and now let's go ahead to Team B. So Team B, we have here a carry which is also having shit stats here, so I need to improve this for my next run, and that's why I said it's 13.5B or probably even 14 billion is possible, because I'm still using test gears. Okay, so this is my carry. She's A9 with 8th weapon. Stats are high HP, but crit rate is very low, crit damage is very low, so we need 8k probably, and we need 180%, 190% here. That's around 12.5, 12k or something. But yeah, lots of improvement here still. We can probably still get maybe 50M more from her, probably even more. And skill levels and artifacts, I'm using one hit kill still to be able to spam her ultimate and be able to consistently buff Thomas Andre and Gunhi with that crit buff and damage dealt. And this is also a crucial part of the build, because we are using the MP recovery here, which has a cooldown of 20 seconds. So basically, we're gonna be able to cast a lot of ults and regen her MP 5% equals of their max MP. I'm gonna make a crit damage core to solve that crit damage percent problem here. So we're gonna get a lot more damage from that compared to just getting all of these. So these are just temporary cores that I'm using. But so the next one is Go Gunhi with 35.7k attack. We got enough crit rate, crit damage, defense penetration, and damage increase. So his stats is also much lower than what I used to have. So we're gonna be able to get a bit more damage from here because he's still using a temporary core as well, which is this one. When the user has 20% of their MP or less, they recover MP equal to 30% of their maximum MP. So towards the end, this would help us gain more MP so that she can cast the first skill for Thomas Andre's debuff using his weapon here for the light damage debuff, and then the team buff here, which is gonna give him the team crit damage and additional light damage, like 24% each. So that's very important. I'm also now using this core, so just level 10, can still be improved. I think we can improve it later on once we remove the crit rate from the artifact, but now it's not needed, so it's fine. But we can still improve this to get his penetration up to plus 4k maybe, and then be able to get more from here for that late game damage using penetration. My plan here, at least, I'm still trying to solve it, but I'm just gonna say to you now, just in case you have the means to try it, I'm trying to come up with a way to sustain the mana, because his MP reduction is 1541 only, and he's still losing MP, and I want to use the Obsidian set, because using Obsidian set here will improve his damage a lot, especially with carry here. Alright, so I think that's gonna be more worth it than using an 8-piece grid in this team setup. So I'm still trying to figure out how I am gonna be able to do that. I'm thinking of getting an MP reduction core, but I think it's still not enough for 1. Maybe 2 will be enough, but I don't want to overcommit on that yet because we're still doing fine with this setup anyway. Now let's go ahead to Thomas Andre. Thomas Andre stats here, still also lower than what I used to have, because again, still using test gears. It's already high enough relatively to most compared to most people, but in terms of my account, this is much lower. So I think we can still squeeze a bit more damage from him, probably about 5-10% more damage, which is gonna push us even further and closer to 14 billion. As you can see, crit damage is 178%, defense penetration is a bit low as well, and we have a lot of crit actually. I don't think we need 11k crit on him, light damage here. And the reason why is that I'm also using test scores on him, which is this one, 3123 crit damage. So I can probably get a bit more from here, and then I would need to adjust some items for the MP consumption reduction. So right now I'm using this MP consumption reduction, but I think I would probably need a bit less. So I still need to re-optimize that and be able to use a damage core here. So I'm also using that ultimate skill recovery MP equal to 5%. Remember, Thomas Andre's cooldown is fast and there is an ultimate bug, so he can spam that ultimate to keep on regenerating mana using that MP core. And then MP consumption reduction is at 3085. So from the run, you're gonna see the run later, it's enough. Okay, it's enough to keep the Obsidian set at above 40% of the maximum MP. So now our Team A and Team B will not have any MP problems because Gina can provide that MP to the Fire team, and Team B has been solved already with the ult spamming using that core. The only problem now is Gogun He, which we might be able to solve soon. I'm just not sure how to do that yet, but I'll figure it out. So Team A and Team B is going fine without Hansemi, which is Hansemi with in terms of damage output contribution. She also has that debuff from her weapon, but here in this case, just being able to put a carry here alone and improving Thomas Andre's damage by roughly around 800 million is already enough to compensate from what we have lost, even from the damage of Cha and from Team C. That's why this setup or this strategy worked for me. Now let's go ahead for Team C. This is gonna be a debuffer lineup, which has a chance of failing the run because some of them are gonna die. But if you manage to make a routine in order to lessen that chance of dying, which I will also show you later in my run, of course, then it works fine, it works well. Alright, so now let's go ahead to Chahe in for Team C. 33k attack, and then good amount of crit damage, defense penetration, damage increase, really good as well. And the MP consumption reduction is at 4.759. And then skill levels, expert plus curse, and here are the cores that I'm using. So I've already been using this core from way back, so it's fine. I'm using this MP consumption reduction to help with her MP problems. And as you can see here, I use the new core as well, which regens MP. So the reason why this is good is that it will regenerate 30% of their maximum MP. If we use this core on units like Chahe-In, which has a long cooldown on her ultimate, then the amount of MP that we're gonna get will be less than what we are gonna get compared to this, which is 30%. But in case of ultimate spammers like Shimizu Akari, for example, I think it's gonna be fine because we're using one hit kill. Although I might be able to actually I just remembered, I might be actually be able to remove this. I have to check because I was using Obsidian set earlier on Shimizu Akari for one of the tests that I was doing, and I needed the MP regen, but I think we might be able to get away with using this instead for that, because there's gonna be a bit of a gap when it comes to the power gauge. So I'm gonna try that soon, but I think if there is gonna be any difference, it's gonna be minimal. So let's just leave that for now. And then yeah, so for Chahe-In, it's okay to lose mana or MP towards the end because her role really, especially in this kind of team setup where she won't be able to get some buffs and won't be able to deal damage, then it's fine because her damage is not that important. It's important, but the most important thing here is her branded debuff. So towards the end, she's gonna lose a bit of MP, so she might not be able to do the full combo there, but I think it's still gonna be fine overall. And now for my Libora, here's the stats. Low crit rate. We know that Libora's crit rate is very important, so we lost a lot of damage there. And again, the reason is I'm using test gears, so can't do much about that. Skill levels, and now using toughness and expert set, and the reason why toughness now so instead of curse set because we don't have Min in our team anymore, and we kind of need that critical hit rate badly. So my crit rate is very low because I'm using this again for the MP towards the last, to MP at the last like 30 seconds or 1 minute or something. So if I level this up, which I can't, I have the mats, but I don't have the gold. But anyway, once I level it up and be able to max it out, I'm gonna be able to go back to that 10k mark on the crit rate, which is gonna be enough for her. And I also am missing some crit damage from here because Gina had to borrow her usual core, which is right here. So a bit of damage loss from that as well. Lots of things to polish, lots of things to re-optimize here. But yeah, so far, this is what I'm using. And now for Choi Jong-in, and another one who has been missing a lot of damage as well. Here's the build, 29k attack, and then defense spend, damage increase, fire damage there, skill levels, and now using 4-piece curse and 4-piece obsidian with trash obsidian here. Another test gear. We will be able to surely get more damage output out of him once we finalize his gears, but right now even a crit rate curse here, and as you can see, the boots is critical hit damage. And be able to fix this shit, I don't even have like chips anymore. So you can see I had to stop at plus 11, and some of these are not the optimal ones that we should use, so we still have lots of room for improvement for Choi Jong-in. For the cores, we need another fire core here, so I had to borrow Charlotte's cores here, but if we're gonna be able to make a new one, I think I can make a new one with the defense penetration, but I don't have the resources anymore, so this is fine. So we are missing 5% attack from that, and this is good. At least with this, he will have some survivability. Ideally, we want max penetration here, and again, ult spammer recover MP equal to 5% of the max MP. So we might be able to get a bit more defense penetration because ideally we don't want much damage increase anymore. We want to stack as much defense penetration as we can. Even 40% will do. So that's gonna be it for the build and the artifact updates. And now the only thing that I'm waiting for right now is how exactly the fan of the fire demon will impact the guild boss or the game in general, because this one will give some MP on the teammates, I believe, but I'm not sure how this one works. Let's just wait it out. And then, yeah, so this is the overall setup right now. I think once I polish everything, I'll be able to get 13.5 billion. Of course, I need to improve the gameplay as well. Probably even 14 billion. 13.5 billion is very much possible. Even now, I think. So 14 billion for support Song Jinwoo. Highly possible with this kind of setup. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the replay.